Hey guys, everybody here who's early to the stream or, hasn't made it past the 10-minute countdown, I'm going to be deleting this part from the replay. But I think I finally have my streaming setup all put together in like its final state. So let me know. I'm just kind of giving you guys a quick little like, 2 or 3 person poll here of whether or not you want to see that in this episode or wait till the next episode to show it off. So just let me know in the chat. But back to the countdown. Oh, wait, that's not the countdown screen. Dang it. Where's the countdown? Oh, there it is. There we go. Hey, what's up, guys? Jack here with MTS. Sorry, had my my microphone muted here. So, what's up, guys? How's life going? Yes! Perfect timing, just got off a call. Hello. Jordan, did you see that they added multiple WAN IPs to the UDM Pro? Yes, that's something that I wanted to actually play around with a little bit in this video. What I need to figure out how to do is set up... I need a hardware device that will put my traffic through a VPN and then spit it out a different way. I'm trying to think about something here, but it's just not working in my brain. I'm gonna turn this music down a little bit more here. And let's not let it come through my ears because this is getting kind of annoying. So what I really want to do is figure out a way where I can have the ability to show you guys everything. I want to be able to show you every settings menu, every option, every part of a setup process without having to blur things or cut things out, so that way you all experience the full setup process and I don't have my personal information exposed. So really that comes through with using VPNs and dummy accounts and some stuff. And I already have different accounts and stuff set up for my Dream Machine and the network that I use for my testing stuff. That's all handled separately from my other networks and my other things that I'm doing. So that works so far, but overall it's kind of finding a balance between what should I show and what should I not show. And you know, right now that balance has been going pretty good. Can't really complain about that, but you know, there are always going to be issues. So what is... Okay, that's what's happening. That's why this is being dumb. Give me just 1 second here. I'm trying to figure out why these tabs are being weird and... Oh, that works. Oh, shut up, me. Okay, cool. So now let's... There we go. Now I'm ready. So I have a Dream Machine. My Dream Machine is not my router. My Dream Machine is what I use for testing and building out networks. It's what I use for these YouTube videos. It's just kind of a tool for me. I'm still stuck on my AT&T router, which for the stuff that I do here at my house is fine. I really just have that running as kind of like my modem stuff. Then that pass-throughs all of the traffic through with no firewall rules or anything to a pfSense box. That pfSense box then connects into a Cisco switch, and that Cisco switch then fans out into a Ubiquiti switch, into the UDM, and everything else. So my network is a little bit weird here. I'm planning on streamlining all of that when I move into the new house. I'm gonna do a full-on, you know, Ubiquiti installation and have lots and lots of switch ports. So far the plan is to have 48 ports, I believe I have allocated for the top 2 floors of the house, and then the basement where I'm having all of my stuff and like my studio and all that stuff. It's gonna be getting another 48 ports. So I'm gonna have 96 ports that I need to be switching, and I at least want all of the ports down in the basement to be PoE. So it means I'm gonna at least need one 48 port PoE switch. Gee, because I really wanted to spend all that money. But you know, you do what you gotta do. Sometimes you just gotta, you know, put up that cost here. I'm gonna come into the stream here just so that way I can be able to engage with chat, because right now I can't see that for some reason. And mute. When you move to your new house, will you get a smart home? In terms of like a smart home, the traditional sense of the Wi-Fi smart plugs and all that stuff and Philips Hue, no. I really don't like that stuff. I prefer tactile physical controls over things. I really like the fact that I have a light switch. And my fan here, I can show you that real quick. My fan for my overhead lights has a little remote, and I can, you know, turn that on, but that's an ugly light color, so I leave it off. Yeah, so it's just about kind of how I feel like I want to control things, and my sense of control is physical. I want physical control. I don't like things that are like, oh, hey, in order to turn on this light switch, I have to phone home to a Chinese server first. Like, no, that's dumb. So I was looking at going with an open hab system or something of you know, that sort. But other than that, I'm so done with the whole smart things. So right now, all of my lights around the room here, I have full control over, so I can turn off the light that's behind me, I can turn off the stand light, I can turn off the monitor light, and I can turn off my blue accent light. And then I can just bring them all back on. So having physical controls for me is something that's really important. Okay, Diamond. All right, I'll take a look at this. I gotta copy that and paste that into Google here real quick. Does the UDM Pro has any fans for cooling? Almost. You were almost there, man. Just switch that has for have. Yes, the UDM Pro has fans. That's why I don't keep it up in my room, because I hate fans and I hate fan noise. So what I have is I have a dedicated port that comes out of the UDM Pro. It first goes UDM Pro into a PoE injector into one of the cables that comes up to my room, which then feeds it into an APAC Pro, which is behind this monitor here. And then the cable goes out of the APAC Pro into a PoE injector underneath my table here, so that way I can power up things like security cameras or whatever I'm doing for my testing. So that's how I have all of that working. And you know, while we're a bit wider, hey, why not? Set this up earlier today. Figured this was a little bit of something fun that I could try. Just had to have more of that widescreen look, just because it kind of keeps the focus on me a bit. Locks one, I don't know how I would pronounce that. Smart home stuff. All right, let's. Dang it! I just closed out the tab that I needed. Let's come over here to my screen. Yeah, this is kind of cool. So is this just kind of its own full-on thing? Like, is it its own standard, or what is this? I'm kind of confused. Yeah, Diamond, let me know what this stuff is and tell me about it, because I'm too lazy to look at it. Install. Become an installer. Oh, I have to, like, actually... It's one of those things where you have to, like, sign up and become a partner first. I don't like those types of things, but whatever. What are you gonna do? Yeah, so that's kind of how I have things set up. I have my UDM, and one of the things that I've also added into the stream is some musical instruments, in terms of I have a keyboard. But I can do some fun stuff. Like I can do like a... I don't know. It was just something fun that I felt like adding in, so that way I could, you know, play some music depending on what's going on. But one of the things that you might have seen behind me, I have some cables on a microphone stand. So I hit up Aria Live after I did. It was the video talking about Unify Design Center, or the Ubiquity Design Center, whatever they want to call it. And I picked up in that video, I picked up an Aria Live Ethernet cable, and it's a stage grade Ethernet cable, and it's a nice cable. It's incredibly flexible. I've been using it a lot. I've already done multiple events with it and stuff. It's already done some traveling. It's a really high quality, good cable. And I'm like, hey, all right, let's see how this stacks up to my other stuff. And so it stacked up really well, and is already my favorite cable. I've been talking about it for months now. But so I reached out to Aria Live, and I'm like, hey guys, you make some dope stuff, and I like dope stuff. would you like to send me some more of your dope stuff so that way I can talk about your dope stuff and how dope it is? And they're like, sure. So, sorry, it's allergy day here. I have lots of cables now. I have so many cables that this microphone stand, literally, if I just press on it, cannot handle. I can't pull it up. Oh, that's hard. But I can very easily push it back down. So yeah, these are very high quality, heavy duty, heavy cables, and I'm not a shill. They're not paying me for any of this stuff. I just really think these cables are cool. And I'm gonna tell you why they're cool, because each one of them, so these are Ethernet cables, and these are audio cables, and each one brings something special to the table. So in terms of these audio cables, I'm not a big, oh, this is one of my other Ethernet cables. We're not going to talk about that for right now. In terms of their audio cables, they bring something interesting, and that's when I'm tearing down and building out sets very fast, very frequently, and you're running cables in the dark, it's very difficult to tell. You kind of have to, I mean, it's a circle. The connectors are circles. So you're having to, if you're working with the male end, you don't know which way's up. If you're working with the female end, you do, because you have the little tab. But so you're just kind of jamming stuff together, trying to figure out which way it goes in. But they've added these little, I don't know how well you're gonna be able to see this on camera, but these two little ribbed wings here. Ribbed. They've added these two little wings here, and so you can very easily tell, like, I can just set the cable down, grab it, and know that's plugged in straight. Like, there's no thought to it whatsoever. And the cables sound good. I'm running one of them right now for my microphone, so. These are some nice cables. They sent me a lot. They sent me 2 of each length of each type. So I have 6 audio cables in total. And then I also have 6 of the EtherCon cables, which EtherCon, again, it's a professional standard, but these are converter shells, which can be converted to regular Ethernet. Although I don't recommend you buy them if all you care about is Ethernet and you want to just take it out of the box and use it, because if you want to use it primarily as an Ethernet cable and not as an EtherCon cable, you will have to hack off the ends and put on your own ends, which I've done. I have this cable here, which is an ARRIA Live cable that I just hacked off the ends and put my own on, and works fantastic. I love this cable. It's super flexible, and you're probably not gonna be able to see this, but I can just throw out the cable and it lays flat. Like, that's, yeah, you can't see that, but it's really nice, and something that when you throw out a lot of cables like me, you really grow to appreciate that. So, the reason they sent me these cables is because I will already tell you, and for everybody watching this live stream, I have a video that it's gonna be coming out on Sunday, or Saturday, sorry, where we're talking about finding the best Ethernet cable. I'm going to be comparing the ARRIA Live cables against one of the cables that I just kind of threw on the floor there earlier. A bunch of other cables, the Monoprice cables, some other cheap crap cables, Monoprice, all this stuff. We're comparing a bunch of cables, trying to figure out what is the best Ethernet cable. Not for like installing in walls and stuff like that, because you don't need to install stage grade, very flexible, high quality Ethernet in somebody's walls. But for the cable that you're traveling with, that's staying in your bag, that's what we're trying to do, is find the best cables for you to use. So, yeah, that's what we're doing. And I already did my tests. I've already driven over a bunch of cables with my car. And so I asked ARRIA Live to send me the cables because those are the cables that won. So, and in that video, because ARRIA Live did send me a bunch of cables, I'm going to be giving away one of the cables, whichever one you want, terminated however you want. And yeah, I'll do that anywhere within the US, because shipping outside of the US is expensive. Right? Cool. So that's one of those things that's coming up that we had going on. The next thing that I want to do is talk about my last video. I did a video on the G3 Instant camera, and I was really excited for this camera. I wanted to find out everything about it, but not many other people did. That video didn't do too well. But the video about the U6 Lite access point, that video's been doing really well. And one of the things that how I judge whether a piece of content is good or not is whether it just gets a lot of views and then plateaus, that tells me that it's something that you watched because I uploaded it, but it's not something that people care about in the long term. My best videos that I feel like have been the most impactful are, 1, the U6 Lite video. 2 would be my Unify 2021 setup guide, the Flex Switch video, and there's one other one. I forgot what the other video was, but those videos they didn't just like rise and then fall off. They've been steadily growing. So it's something that people are still coming back to. It's stuff that people still want and find useful. So that's how I've been figuring things out. Let's hop back into chat here for a minute. We got... Is this updated? Is this chat updated? I want to make sure this chat's updated so you guys are seeing the latest chat. All right, cool. Late to the show. How are you doing, Jack? I'm doing well. What's up, Grandma? Audio blinds, lights, audio, or heating. Work on one switch. There's a lot less switches and buttons in the room. Cool. Can't wait to see your next video. So all the lights run on one cable with the switches, and it all goes back to the local server, which can be controlled by the app or the switches. I didn't mean to spam the chat, by the way. Yeah, I know. I already talked about the 2021 Unify setup video. It was a different one. Jordan, no, I will not be. Canada tariffs are for a video that I will make no money on, plus that I'm also giving away a cable on. No, me spending a lot of money on shipping to Canada, that's out of the picture. Versus I can ship it anywhere in the US for about 13 bucks. So, yeah, no, Canada's out. I'm shipping within the 48, regular United States. Except for, gosh, what's the latest talk's been about the state that wants to break off and become their own, country? It's like, people are dumb. People are really stupid. But I'm okay with that, because it really just helps show how smart I can be at times. It's kind of like why I love the people that, work for Charter and AT&T and do the really shoddy home installations, because I come in there as a 19-year-old and blow these people's minds just because, hey, I'm not an idiot. So thank you, Charter and AT&T internet installers, for making me look good. Yeah, all right, so what do I want to, where are we going with things here today? Oh, yeah, I had this Netgear switch. So the people from the Worst Server Room 2020 video, the people who actually own all that equipment, they hit me up again and said, hey, our Netgear switch died. And I'm like, oh, okay. So they have a Netgear switch. It's a 24 port PoE switch with 2 SFP ports. And yeah, they said the switch died. So I did a lot of testing on that switch. Couldn't log into it for whatever reason. Couldn't find it on the network. It was just entirely unresponsive to things. I could ping it, but other than that, I couldn't gain any access to it. And the reset button stopped working. So I couldn't reset it. I couldn't do anything to the switch. It was just essentially a brick that said, hey, I'm a brick. So it would respond to pings, but nothing else. So took that home, took that apart. I've been playing around with that, trying to figure out what's wrong with that and see if I can fix it. But that's the second switch of that I've seen that's died. Because I've seen that switch out in the wild before, but I've seen it on the, pile of dead gear shelf, not the in commission stuff. So I don't know, it's gonna be interesting. I'm tempted to kind of buy one of those switches and just see how well it works for me. But yeah, so I downloaded this. They had this smart control center. I'm gonna delete my phone encryption password here or hide it from my desktop. Hang on, let me just move some things around here real quick. Okay, cool. So I have this this control center. It's the smart control center for the Netgear switches. It's supposed to help you find the switches. It couldn't. It was just not responding. I came into, command prompt and was able to ping it, no problem, but this smart control center, which is supposed to be how you find all of the Netgear products, is end of life. And they don't have a replacement for it. So my Switch that's not end of life is discovered using a piece of software that is end of life. It's just like, who thought that was a good idea? I have no idea. Dumb people, dumb decisions. I don't know. All right, and now getting to the fun part of this video. And by fun, I mean my least favorite part of it. I think I'm just gonna kill some of the lights here. Just kind of feels more chill like this. I don't know, maybe I'll turn on the backlight. There we go. All right, so, you know, people work differently. I'm just gonna, give me 1 second. I need to. Thank you for your patience. It is much appreciated. You know, people work differently. Different people, you know, some people can wake up, or they wake up to their alarm clock, and other people just kind of naturally wake up. Some people eat just because, you know, they feel hungry. Other people eat at, you know, a certain time of day. Everybody's a balance of those two things, but I have pretty much always been very time-based. So I eat not when I feel hungry, I eat just at a time of day. And if I know that I've already eaten a lot because I've, you know, had to cram food in, you know, before an event or something where I wouldn't be able to eat for like 5-6 hours, my body still says, hey, you're hungry, even though I know I'm full. So, you know, I just have to eat something with like no calories or nothing nutritious. But I don't know, I was having a really great weekend, and then there was stuff that happened, and it just threw me off. My internal clock just went away. I've always woken up, my alarm clock is essentially just a redundancy. I know that I can sleep in on Saturdays. Like if I have a job to go to on a Saturday morning at 10 a.m., I know I will wake up at 8:30. My body just does. I know that on Sundays, I wake up at 7:45 every Sunday morning, because that's when I have to go to work. My body just naturally wakes up and is based off of time. And so I lost like my entire sense of time. I was thinking back to things and experiences that had happened last week at church when it was really that morning. So my brain had just been completely out of whack. And so I wasn't eating, I wasn't sleeping, because my brain's like, I don't know what time it is, I'm not going to sleep. I was a mess. So I've just been kind of coming off of that. I'm happy to be able to, you know, get back into things and not feel awful. So that's kind of how I've been doing for the past few days. So I haven't been able to really be working on any of my videos or any of my projects. I've just been kind of trying to recover my sanity, so to speak. Okay, so now that we're done talking about that stuff, let's get back into some important things, such as technical related things. Yes, let's talk about politics. Oh, people generally don't like it when I talk about politics because I rarely agree with them. What if we person who won pays shipping costs? I don't really want to do that, because then it's you guys having to give me money and stuff. I want to just, I've always been the type of person where it's like, if I win something, I want it. Just give it to me. It's like AT&T with their like hidden charges. They're like, no hidden fees. Then what the heck are all these fees that weren't on my bill last month that are on it this month? And what are they gonna change to next month? I don't know. I prefer to make sure that everybody has everything they need and not have to pay for different things like that. Also, it can learn about what you do in your house, so it can open your blinds, close them, keep the temperature in your house without having to heat it as much when you aren't in the room. Sensors in the rooms, where you can turn off the lights. All right, cool. I can get internet on an SFP module that I can plug it into any gear I want. Yep. I can't. My internet, the way AT&T works is they just kind of suck. Like, the way AT&T delivers their internet to people is not very good. So I have a video that I'm about to be shooting this week, and it's gonna be coming out probably next week. Not this coming Saturday, but probably on a Wednesday. I might do a Wednesday release. One of the guys that got me into networking and got me into doing these things, you know, the right way and not just cramming cables together and plugging it all into a dumb, unmanaged 10100 switch, because that's what I found at Red Racks for $2. He was my neighbor next door, and he recently moved away, or I say recently, but it was a few years ago. He moved away. He's not far. He's like 20 minutes away, but he's finishing out his basement, and so he wants to do all the networking and everything for his house while he still has access to things. So we're going to be doing a network installation for him. It's not going to be super overkill. It's not going to be insane. It's not going to be, I mean, we're not even doing a rack mount PDU. We're doing a rack, but we're not even rack mounting the power strip. It's just a regular power strip. We're trying to cut back and just do things as close to the right way as possible. It's kind of one of those jobs. But yeah, so expect a video on that. But he has the AT&T gigabit fiber to the home, and the way that works is it comes in over fiber, and then it comes in over an SC connector, and then it goes into a little media converter, which then converts it to RJ45, which then goes into the ONT port over RJ45 on this same AT&T router that I have. Mine just comes in over the DSL or broadband port, which is stupid and I hate it. But either way, we tried connecting the RJ45 coming out of the media converter directly into my computer and seeing if I could pull an IP address and get everything to work. And it was prompting me to log in and provide a bunch of credentials and stuff to get online. So I assume that there's a way to do that if you know all of your provider information, but just out of the box, sadly, I can't just plug in the cable, which is dumb. And I found a way that I can get better internet. Charter said that they could hook me up with, or they could probably hook me up with better internet at my new place. And so yesterday I went there and did a bit of a site survey myself on how I would have to run the cables for all of that stuff. And honestly, it's not looking too good. I'm gonna have to be trenching out a lot of land and running a lot of conduit. And where I want my network rack, I want everything coming into the house right by my network rack. So I'm not having to run cables everywhere doing stupid stuff. I want everything where it's going to end up. So that's on the opposite side of the house than where I'd be able to bring the conduit in from. So probably have to have long cables running through the basement and stuff that I just don't want to do. It's not the end of the world. It would be easier than trenching out and laying even more conduit, but it's just, I really wanted everything to come into that same spot. They're mostly using PPPoE. With AT&T's, the way that they're doing stuff is just dumb though, because they're AT&T. Get a small digger. Yeah, we have one. I made a video about it. It was pretty funny. Oh, I just got a text. It's from a number here. I will tell you the number. Go spam this number. 1-939-437-6091. Did you know that 49% of men your age battle with erectile dysfunction? We're here to fix that. Let's read the rest of this message. Become hard and I can't read this message. Yes, because 19-year-olds like me struggle with erectile dysfunction. Thank you. That's not helping. Yeah. Okay, so getting spam more. Love that. But yeah, no, so we have a small excavator, and we'll be using that. I'll be able to dig some stuff up. But the problem with using that is, so the land right behind mine, there's the road, my land, our neighbor's land. It's a very small strip. Like if our land's like this big, because our land is like 3 or 4 acres. His land is probably about an acre behind ours. and then there's a creek behind that, and then there's woods, and then the neighborhood behind that we're getting our internet from. So all of that is going to be interesting to have to dig out. So I don't have permission to use my neighbor's land and run conduit through that. So I'm probably going to have to do the, just go out there with a shovel at night and hope nobody notices. Just get, 5 friends together and say, hey guys, we need to dig this out real quick. I do have permission to run it through the lake, the creek area, and through the woods. That's not a problem, and through my land is obviously not a problem. But it's just the douche rocket that lives right behind us. I don't have a way to really run that through his land with permission. But he plans on building on that land, and I know where he plans to build. So as long as I run the conduit past where he plans to build, we shouldn't have an issue. Hopefully. That's just kind of one of those. What he doesn't know won't kill him. So that's the plan for all of that stuff. Yeah, this smart home stuff though. I don't want to do a smart home just because it's never really been my thing. I have a big problem with being a scatterbrained, about being a scatterbrain and out of sight, out of mind. So I forget that things like that exist, even though I have them. Like I have a Google Home right here, and I can say, hey Google, what time is it? Gee, thanks for not responding. It's literally right here. Hey Google, what time is it?
3:01 p.m.
But I forget it's there. Unless I'm staring at it, I forget it's there. So I don't really even utilize that. And all of the plugs and stuff that I'm using to turn on the lights around the room, through my all this stuff, these guys could tie in with the Google Home, but I don't have that happening. I have these guys on their own separate network with no internet connection and no access to the outside world. So, privacy, data, all that stuff. Point-to-point link between the locations. Hell no. I'm not getting my main internet connection to my house from a PTP link. I hate PTP links. I mean, they work. I install them quite often. But no. Yeah. Oh, I'm sorry. My nose is just still driving me crazy. Give me one. Okay. I hate having allergies year-round. Yeah, when I went and did my allergy testing, my back lit up like a Christmas tree. Yo, Diamond! Thanks for the super chat. Thank you for all the good content. You are welcome. What do you guys want to talk about? I've got nothing else really planned on the agenda today, aside from a few things that I know I will need to purchase for a new streaming computer. Because my streaming computer used to be my VR rig, so it's a small form factor build. So I know that I will need a Decklink Quad. This is the capture card I will be getting for that desktop for the new streaming rig. It's a 4 HDMI input, 4K capture card that just plugs in, over PCIe and stuff. So I'm not going to be having pass-through, but I only need pass-through for things such as my my computers to go out to the monitors, because doing screen mirroring in Windows is awful, especially if I try and do any gaming. The way my screen sharing works right now is OBS is open here, and it has my desktop window being captured. I just turned off the preview, and I'm outputting it over NDI. So that's being output over NDI to the streaming computer, and that's how that whole thing works. It works well. It works well enough, but it also uses a good amount of my CPU. So if I open this up, or sorry, my GPU. Yeah, it's using like 20% of my GPU, and that's pretty constant at about 20%. So I can't be doing anything like playing games or anything because OBS loses its priority over my GPU time. So games are like, hey, we'll run great, but you won't be able to send that to your streaming rig. So that's just fun. Because I'd like to be able to come in here, just have some, talking with people while playing some video games. I think that would be fun, something to do. And this is also not the only YouTube channel that I run or manage. I manage a few others for some people. I'm a part of a few other channels where I just need a more beefy stream rig than my mini ITX rig can offer. Because right now I'm having to use these garbage USB capture cards, and I hate them. RTX 3060 for the new PC. Yes, I will probably be going 3060. Isn't there any medication for your allergies? Yes, there are many medications, but they essentially stop me from losing all ability to breathe. They don't take away any of my irritation. So what I'm going through right now is irritation, where my nose starts really itching, like right here, and it is just all the time, and it's terrible. We're probably not allowed to talk about the new EA access point. I know which one you're talking about, and I really want to talk about it, but we can't. Yeah, I know. It's sad, but early access things. So I have an APAC Pro that I'm using for my Dream Machine. There's a new access point in the EA store. Put 2 and 2 together. I think that's sick. You should consider signing up for Amazon Business. I think it can save you money. I have a business account for Amazon, except for it doesn't save you money. The way it works is I get more granular control over who's buying things. I can set up allowances, see reports on who's spending money, like for things like different departments. So for my media production company, if you did not know, Miller Media STL is my, oh, that's the wrong button. Miller Media STL is my company here. So for Miller Media, we do have an Amazon business account. But for MTS doesn't use the Miller Media account. It uses its own, well, technically it's a small LLC account that I'm using, and which I don't need an Amazon business account for. I'll have a look at it. Have a look at what? What are you looking at, bud? Oh, the EA access point. Yeah, the access point that super does not exist right now. I got a stock alert for it the other day, and I like jumped on it, but it was already sold out within like the 2 minutes it took me to log into the EA store, and I'm like, felt very upset about that because I really wanted to snipe that thing. For my old neighbor's build for his network, we are doing Wi-Fi 6. So we're going to be doing 2 of the U6 lights. That's the plan right now, and his current APAC light is going out in his garage. So we're going to be doing stuff like that. We're going to be doing security cameras. The security cameras and stuff is it's going to be a jump to the UDM Pro for the recorder, for all that stuff. And yeah, so some things are happening with that, but that's going to be in a second wave. So we're going to make 2 videos, one of which is going to be just running all the networking cables, setting up the basic rack, configuring his network right now, but he can't get any of the U6 Lite access points because they're out of stock. So we're going to be adding those access points later. I will be bringing my U6 Lite and just kind of installing that and running some numbers just to make sure that everything's working right. But other than that, he's going to be sticking with his APAC Lite for right now and upgrading later, along with adding in the UDM Pro and some security cameras. We're probably going to be doing the G3 Flex cameras. These cameras are really awesome, but no longer my favorite for indoor use. The little tiny instant camera is absolutely fantastic, and the image quality is lovely. Diamonds asks, do you host your own websites? No, I do not. So I use Squarespace. They charge me way too much money, in my opinion. But no, I don't host my own websites. I wanted to, but honestly, my internet connection here is not reliable enough for that. It's supposed to be a business grade connection, but it does not have business grade uptime. Yeah, so I can't use that. I can't self-host my websites. I can't do my own, Synology DIY Google Drive or anything like that, and I can't run my own email server. I would really like to be able to do all those things because that would reduce a good bit of cost. Like 1 year of doing that would pay for the Synology itself. So yeah, it's just kind of one of those things. And I've been trying to push to try and be able to do self-hosting of those things, or at least just have something set in place so that way if I want to, I can just, flip the switch on it and it'll go live. But I haven't found anything that I really like that works well enough for my needs in order to self-host. So I'm currently using Squarespace for my website and Google Workspaces for my email stuff. And all of my YouTube channels, every YouTube channel that I have has a different email address. So the MTS channel is running under its own email address. Jack's Projects is its own email address. Every other channel that I'm associated with or have created for somebody has its own email address. And they're all just the free Google accounts, because if for whatever reason payment got declined, or hey, I'm in the hospital for 3 months and payment gets declined and I can't, pay up, I don't want to lose everything. So I make sure that everything is on a free option that will not go away. That's how I'm running my business, is in terms of accounts and things like that. Yeah, I'd really like to be able to do the Synology self-hosted email, self-hosted Google Drive stuff, and website. But I don't like WordPress, so there's not really another easy option that I've found. I'm currently working with my buddy Luke to try and figure out some solution for me. He's been hard at work at that, but currently we're both kind of coming up blank on that. So one thing that I found that I thought was really funny was I was doing a video project for school, and I was having to go through Star Wars Episode 5, Revenge of the Sith. Is that Revenge of the Sith? No, that's The Empire Strikes Back. Sorry, Revenge of the Sith is Episode 3 in the prequel trilogy. But I found this wonderful freeze frame from Star Wars, so there you go. I'm just gonna leave you with that. Like, for the love of Star Wars. Yeah, that was something funny that I found. One of the things that I want to do in the basement is, at the new place, is I want to have it be a space for both me and my projects to live. I want to be able to have it be incredibly flexible. This is my rough floor plan idea for the basement. So we'd have server rack and a storage area over here. This is where I'd want all the cables coming in, but this is where they're gonna have to come in. The staircase comes down and it's gonna go out both directions, so into the storage space and into my space. I'm gonna have a media area with, TV. There's gonna be a couch here, VR, nice big space for VR over here. Yeah, and I wanted all the TV and all the media stuff against the walls, this wall, because this is going to be the only wall that really gets built, I believe, or that I know of for a fact is being built. So that way I can have speakers in the wall, TV mounted to the wall, cables running behind the wall, having everything all nicely concealed here. And then I want to build out an office space. This is probably where the air conditioning is going to go. Have an office space here where I can have, computers, testing stuff, a flexible project space. I plan on using these Husky workbench tables. They're tables that are sit stand. They have wheels on them, and they're like $200 a pop. Having a bunch of those, so I can just bring out a table from like against the wall, pull it out over here, pull out multiple tables, do whatever I need to be doing for my testing stuff in this space. Have some form of set here for filming videos, another set, This would be one streaming setup for when I'm with a bunch of people doing more stuff. And then this would be kind of where I would have the set that you are currently seeing, where it is just me for these Tuesday live streams, which, I don't know, it's nice being able to get things off my chest and actually talk about ideas that I have. Even if, I mean, these things don't get too many views, but it's still just something that I enjoy doing. I find it really helpful for my thought process, for getting ideas out, for just kind of, you know, having a platform to talk on, you know, just kind of one of those things. It's really nice and really helpful. Budget X. Yeah, so those are my plans for the new house. So, what is going on with you guys? How's your life going? What do you want to see? What do you want to talk about? What would you like to do? I have another 14 minutes, and I am leaving it all up to you with how I spend it. We can sit here in silence. No. No, okay, so my streaming setup, I came on here before the stream started, but I'm pretty sure there's nobody here. I finally figured out my end of the stream setup. It's kind of all finalized. I have everything set how I want it, and there aren't really any more changes that I'm going to be making to it. In terms of my camera, I've been working a lot with that on trying to get the colors right. So this is my image right out of camera. It's not terrible, but it's also not really good. This light looks really purple, but it's actually blue, and it's like a deep blue. So I'm also gonna reset my frame size. There we go. Yeah, it's supposed to be a deep blue, but this just shows it as purple. So what I've been doing is working with my working with color correction. So this is what I had for a while, or not this, but this, I believe. This is what I ended up going with. This was the first change. This is the first LUT that I did. Then we had these two here. And then I added this one on top of things. And this really brings everything in more as blue. If I turn off this light here, you can really tell that's blue. It's no longer just purple. So that's where I've been sitting. I have this LUT that I'm calling I'm a Colorist. It's a wonderful LUT that I set up in about 20 minutes in DaVinci. And yeah, so this is kind of like my final color grade that I've been messing with. Yeah, Diamond's like, it kind of looks like a green screen without the color correction. Yeah, because you get everything a lot more flat, and there's not as much separation. So when you bring on the contrast, all this is doing, this color correction here just adds some contrast, adds some brightness, adds some saturation. Then we apply one LUT, which helps kind of brighten things up and bring everything together. And then we have my LUT called I'm a Colorist, and throw that on, and the images kind of take shape. So that's what I've been messing with. And then if I turn on all the lights, it kind of comes together. And this is how I would normally have the stream lit, but for today I put up this other light here. Yeah, it helps fill out my face from the side, but at the same time, I don't like it, so yeah. So what I really want to try is I want to try getting a bunch of access points, every access point that I can find, and meshing them all together. I want to see how far I can go, how far I can take a mesh chain before my signal drops to 1/100th of my starting speed. That's what I plan on doing. So I will probably be setting up a test server that'll just be running iPerf or something like that, as well as I'll be doing Windows file copy, and then having that go hardwired into a switch, going into an access point, chain to an access point, chain to an access point, chain to an access point. excuse me, I have a parking lot, I have places where I can do all of this. But that's just an idea that I've had just to see kind of how well or how bad meshing really is. Because I know a lot of places and people that have actually requested my help with reconfiguring their networks where that's all they're doing is they're just doing mesh networks. And I've always been against mesh networks because they're just not good. The time that it'll take you to run a cable, like 99% of the time that it'll take you to run that cable and the cost that you'll spend running that cable is going to be far less than your headache and your time of troubleshooting and fixing up a mesh network that's not working right. So that's really where I'm standing on this. So I have a parking lot. It's actually my church's parking lot. I was given permission to use it for whatever I wanted, whenever I wanted, as long as I don't break the parking lot. So as long as I don't break the parking lot, we're good. So yeah, I'm going to be having this, and this parking lot is massive. So I will have all the distance in the world, just an open air area where I can chain and mesh access points together to just see how bad it is. So yeah, that's one of the things that I have planned, along with the video of building a new network and testing out all these cables. I've already done the testing. I already know the results. I already have the script written. I just have to film it. I'm filming this tomorrow night. That video will be out on Saturday. I am going out of town this weekend, so I'm leaving on Friday and I'm coming back either Sunday or Monday. I don't know whether I'll make a video about traveling and stuff. I might. In the car, it's nice to be able to just, it's kind of like my thinking place, just because I really have nothing else to do. So just kind of think through some ideas and do kind of similar to what Chris does with his On the Road series, but with, I don't know, Behind the Wheel or something, some other dumb title. I thought of one the other day, but completely forgot it. So yeah, that's what's happening. And I'm trying to do more of these job videos where it's, you know, following me along as we're building out a network, as we're doing that stuff. But the issue that I keep running into is, one, a home network's a home network. If you've seen like 3 of them, like there are really just 3 different ways to do it. Either mesh, running cables, or running like Ubiquiti beacons. Like that's really the only ways there are to do a home network, unless there's something big and crazy. Because other than that, a home network, you have like 1 VLAN. You're not doing anything insane. You're creating a guest network and a main network. Who cares? So that's what I've been doing a lot of recently. So it's like video content doesn't really come out of that. So yeah, this video though with my neighbor, that's gonna be a fun video because we actually are doing a lot of network wiring. We're running cables. We're gonna be running different signals over those cables. So our Ethernet isn't just gonna be running data. It's gonna be running some analog stuff. We're gonna be running speaker wires. We are not running speaker audio over an Ethernet wire. Just not doing that. But yeah, so that's gonna be a fun job. I'm gonna be taking you guys along for the ride with that, but yeah. AT&T's installing fiber in front of my house. I currently have Spectrum. Do you think I should switch to AT&T when it's available? I have 100 by 10 right now, and I'd be getting gig from AT&T. Yes, if you can get the AT&T $60 gigabit, do it. It's like super low latency. It's amazing, but it's not offered in my area, so. I'm gonna be having to get 940 down by 35 up from Charter at my new place, which I'm gonna be really trying hard to say, hey, look, this is a business. I need a better connection than this crap. Because 35 up, I do a lot. I run a media business. That's my thing. I mean, these videos aren't massive files. My YouTube videos aren't, but yeah, it'd be nice to upload in ProRes and not have to do crappy low bitrate, you know, H.264 stuff. But I just don't have the internet bandwidth to do that right now. A lot of my videos take close to an hour as it is to upload. The Complete 2021 Unify Setup Guide, the amount of times that I had to upload that, then delete it because I found mistakes and was fixing mistakes. I was fixing mistakes in that video all the way up until its release. The longest it sat there without me catching a mistake was a day. So I probably spent 30 hours uploading that video. It was a big video. Yeah, because it was like a 5-6 gig video, and I have like 20 up, so it wasn't that great. I need a lot more upload bandwidth than I need download bandwidth. I don't download much content. I upload a lot, though, to file sharing sites, to YouTube, to Vimeo, all those types of things. So I would rather have 100 down by a gig up any day of the week. Like, that's just kind of what I do. I originally meshed, I'm gonna go ahead and think that you said meshed, 2 APs in my house, but I got fed up with it, so I ran a cable, and it's so much better. Yes, exactly. The only access point that I have never had an issue meshing is the Beacon HD from Ubiquity, which that is the only access point that only does mesh, and they didn't put mesh in it. They put mesh in that thing. That thing has network jacks. It doesn't have to be meshed. Why is that called the mesh? Why is the Beacon the only access point that can not do anything other than mesh called the Beacon? I don't with Ubiquity. I can't. I have 600 by 35 from Spectrum at another location. It's pretty nice, yeah. For me though, I'd rather have that flipped. I do so much more uploading. Last week when I made some mistakes in that stream, so I had to cut it up and then restream it later. It was with Grandma Hates Tech, and so I gave them a cut of, their portion of the video. And so I was wondering why I was losing so many frames on the stream as it was going up, and then I realized it was because I was uploading the video to Google Drive at the same time. So I had to cancel that upload, and then my stream went smooth. But yeah, I only have. I'm gonna run a speed test right now. Actually, I'm not, because that'll probably take down this live stream. Yeah. I loaded 20 gigabyte file in 10 minutes the other day. Well, Jordan, stop. Stop telling me about all y'all's awesome internet connections, because my internet connection sucks. It is 100 by 20 from AT&T, and it is the most garbage internet ever. It's not as garbage as one of my old buddies' internet. He lived at the top of a hill, and the best he could get was 50 by 10, I believe. I want more upload for off-site backups. Yeah, exactly. I have a Synology under my desk here that backs up my storage server in the basement. Because, hey, in case my house burns down and I'm in bed, I can yeet this thing out my window. That's kind of my thing with that, but it's loud and annoying, and I hate it, and I want an off-site backup. Also, I'm probably going to have to be building another file server here, and I want to do it differently. Right now, I'm running Unraid. I really like Unraid because of its VM manager and all that stuff, but at the same time, I only get the speeds, unless I'm reading a bunch of files, I only get the speeds of a single hard drive out of it. So my documents, my Plex library, my games library, because all my games get installed onto the server, they get downloaded to my desktop. My desktop mirrors that over to my server, and then all the other computers in my house only have boot SSDs in them. So they access the games off of that storage server, which is nice, because if somebody comes over and, I say, hey, this is a great game, or whatever, like, you should buy it, they can buy it, and then just point their computer in the location of my storage server, and we're already playing, like, within 2 minutes. So that's really nice. Yeah. But I don't really have that much data in terms of anything that's not videos. My video content, because, that's my business, is all on that server. So I have 2 servers. One of them is full. It's been shut down for the past year now. I had to fire it up a couple months ago because I needed some old clips off of it. But so I'm probably going to be moving all of my video files to a dedicated video storage server, which I will be probably doing based off of FreeNAS or something like that, because I want faster speeds, because my network is genuinely my bottleneck for editing videos. Right now I edit off of an SSD on my desktop. Before I started doing everything in 4K and multi-stream of 8K, all that stuff, editing was fine over the server because it was mostly Canon footage with my old, what was it called? The Sony, the Sony FS5 on the big Ronin, the Ronin 2. Yeah, so that was the only high bitrate camera that I had. So that worked fine editing over the network. But now when I'm recording stuff that's bitrate is 200 meg a second, I'm already overwhelming those hard drives in there. So I'm going to need something faster, and I'm going to need a faster network connection. Even though I have 10 gig, but now I'm going to be doing 10 gig over RJ45, which I've had the 10 gig RJ45 card in my desktop for months now with nothing else that can do 10 gig RJ45. So anyway, oh, Diamond, you know somebody that's got a 4x1. Yeah, I knew a guy that had a 3x3 satellite connection. And that's what they wanted to give me in my new neighborhood. And that's when I called literally everybody, every ISP. I'm like, hey, please tell me you can do something better. And Charter was the only ISP that said, you know, there's a neighborhood that butts up against yours. We might be able to. And I'm like, I will run whatever you need. I will run every single type of fiber under the sun. I will run your SCs, your LCs, whatever you need, I will run. Just tell me you can give me faster speeds. Gonna build a video server like Linus? No, not like Linus. I'm not a fan of the way he does his servers. They're great, and don't get me wrong, they work for him, but for me, I like something a lot more basic. So I have my Unraid server, which is kind of gonna be my compute workhorse server, and then I'm gonna have another free NAS box that it's not going to be nearly as high powered. It's going to be powerful enough that I'm not going to bottleneck file transfers, but no more power than that, because that's all that server is going to be doing. It'll work. I'll be fine with that. So I buy retired servers off of eBay and then turn those into my storage servers. But anyway, guys, I'm pretty sure that's all I've got. All I have in store for you guys today. Thank you guys for watching, and see you in the next one.